live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Thanks for joining us on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. Friday, August 18th. We're going in depth tonight. Some storms in central southern Utah, the risk for flash flooding, what it means with all the rain for the rest of our wildfire season. Also an anniversary in Moab this weekend of some flash flooding there. Before we get to all that, though, we're following some breaking news. For the first time, we're seeing body camera video of Provo police interacting with Craig Robinson, the man that FBI agents shot and killed last week. The video from August 18th, 2018 rather, obtained by 2 News chief investigative reporter Wendy Halloran. This was after 2 Google Fiber employees apparently knocked on Craig Robertson's front door, went around back to do some work. Robertson apparently went outside with a gun, told the workers to leave. This video shows officers responding to his home after the workers left the property.
Just make sure I can see both your hands the whole time, since I don't want to worry about you drawing any firearms, okay? Stay on gun for a second.
Put it in your holster. Is it in the holster?
It's in the holster, sir, but you got to understand that we have to respond accordingly, sir. You answered.
Listen, if I want to take you out, I got an M24 sniper rifle there. You'd have never made it here.
Okay, though, that's probably not a good thing to say to us.
No, I'm just telling you.
Well, this is the very beginning of the body camera clip before Craig comes outside to sit with officers and sign a written statement. You can see officers at the door. Behind the door is Mr. Robertson carrying a gun.
If I had evil intent,
okay,
there was nothing you could do short of sending a SWAT unit here to take me out.
Okay, but since you just answered your door with a rifle to a bunch of cops, probably you don't want to talk about if I wanted to snipe you, I could have done it when you're let's just not talk about that anymore, okay? You're going to fill out a written statement for him, okay, filling out your side of the story. I just wanted to make sure that you understood that we have the right to respond the way that we did, okay?
At one point, Robertson looks at the officers after she goes into the house to retrieve his glasses, and he says, "You'll notice I'm heavily armed," to which the officer responded, "I did notice you're heavily armed." He also said he had just built one of the guns he came to the door with when police responded. After about 30 minutes, an officer tells Robertson that the contractors will be back in about a week and a half to complete their work. The vehicle they'll be driving will be marked. The video, which spans about an hour, ends with Robertson talking about some woodworking tools, but at the very end, he talked about protecting his home and said if somebody tried to come into his house and get upstairs, quote, "It would just be like washing my driveway off," and he made the hand motion of spraying the driveway. He also said he could unload a full box of shells, fire, and reload in under 2 minutes. The incident we just showed you was 5 years ago. On August 9th, last Wednesday, FBI agents went to Robertson's home to serve an arrest warrant after Robertson was accused of making threatening posts regarding the president and other officials. Agents shot and killed Robertson. Earlier this week, the FBI released that Robertson pointed a gun at the agents as they attempted to take him into custody. If you'd like more information from this incident from 2018, we have the police reports posted online, KUTV.com. There you can also find our past reporting on the deadly FBI shooting from earlier this month. And as we go in depth tonight on a number of topics, you can always get in touch with us during the show. You can use the hashtag 2NewsLive to join the conversation. You can always find us on the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Send me a direct message, any of those spots, to weigh in. We talk about it a lot, the weather, because it's been pretty active, especially statewide, mostly yesterday. Some pretty strong storms in central and southern Utah. Did we get that repeat today?
Not really. I mean, we have had some storms. We've got a little some showers moving through St. George right now, but check out the temperature in Price right now.
What's going on in
58
Price?
degrees right now.
You guys
Price.
Feeling okay in
66
Price?
in Delta, 69 in Manti.
Oh,
so that means we've got some rain showers through this area. But we do have a
the stark
check
contrast
it out,
there.
93 in Salt Lake. But check out, we do have a flash flood warning in effect right now. We want to get to that and let you know what's going on. So let's take that full screen graphic there and we'll show you where it is. Right there east of Cedar City on SR 14. SR 14 is the road affected by this. You can see it right here. And that also includes small streams and rivers where there could be debris flows from those areas. So just keep that in mind. Why? Well, this thunderstorm has been persistently sitting right in this area for quite some time. And now we've got another cell developing just to the south south of Cedar City over the mountains, and it may drift this way over the same area. So that's why that flash flood warning is in effect until 7:45 tonight, as this moderate to heavy rain continues in this area, and a little bit of thunder and lightning as well. So we also have an area of showers moving through into the St. George area, but it is weakening very quickly as it moves into the St. George area. A few little storms popping up just south of Zion National Park, and this is a disturbance in the atmosphere that's moving toward the northeast. So it's possible we could see additional storms popping up around Zion National Park over the next hour or two. So some showers and thunderstorms, nothing severe, and no flood warnings in effect for that area, but we are under a flood watch in that area right now. Thunderstorms in this general area across the state tomorrow, and here's Hillary. So far, none of this moisture that's over Utah right now has anything to do with Hillary, but it will over the next 2 to 3 days we'll start to see that moisture increasing. Category 4 storm, winds at 130 miles an hour. The movement is toward the northwest at about 12 miles an hour. Here's it approaching the Baja tip there, but it's quite a ways offshore, but still quite a bit of wind and rain for the Baja Peninsula. Then it gets really close to the Baja Peninsula as it moves into Southern California, possibly as a Category 1 or tropical storm status. So right now the track has it as a Category 1. Then it continues to move inland, clear up into central Nevada, and you notice there's a little curve to the east now with this track, which hasn't been that way over the last couple of days. So it's getting a little bit closer to Utah. So we are going to be affected by this. We are going to be affected by the winds. We are going to be affected by the rains, not to the severe levels, but we are going to see a change in our overall normal weather patterns. This is Monday at 11 a.m., by the way, sitting there as a low pressure system over Nevada. One of the things we're going to see by Sunday afternoon is increasing southeast winds across the state, especially in the eastern part of Utah. You can see these are steady winds, 25 to 30 miles per hour, I would say, 29 in Escalante, 27 in Moab. So it's going to be quite breezy. Also some windy conditions over northeastern Nevada as the winds begin to switch to the southeast in advance of that storm. The other issue is, look at Las Vegas. This is 8 o'clock Friday night. They just continue to get showers and thunderstorms in this area. Some of those make it up to St. George. This is midnight Saturday, and you can see that the scattered showers and storms. Las Vegas to St. George, Las Vegas to St. George. Then it really increases a little bit. This is Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. Some storms start to pop up over the Sierra, and we start to see a very moderate to high excessive rainfall threat over portions of Southern California, Southern Nevada, and that extends all the way up into Central Nevada. And also, it extends into Utah, a slight risk of excessive rainfall and a marginal risk of excessive rainfall on Sunday, along with those southeasterly winds that we were talking about before. Then on Monday, this is what we've got going on. It kind of pushes everything to the east or to the west a little bit, but still heavy rains over Nevada, slight chance of some heavy rain across the western part of Utah. And here is the forecast for the next 7 days. It looks like we'll see temperatures 90 tomorrow, but then cooling back into the 80s. Showers and thunderstorms, wow, look at that stretch of storms all the way through Thursday. Friday, we may start to dry things out a little bit. And overnight lows cooling into the 60s for a couple of nights, but it's going to be muggy. Muggy, muggy, muggy. 89 at Salt Lake tomorrow, and then we're in the 80s on Sunday. Partly cloudy on Monday because those easterly winds may dry us out a little bit. So that's going to be kind of interesting. And then back into the 80s on Tuesday through Friday with more showers and thunderstorms.
On the 7 days, it's such a sort of carbon copy of each other right now.
It really
it's very
is.
interesting to see
Temperatures very close to southern Utah and northern Utah.
Thank you, Sterling.
Yeah.
Remember to download our 2 News weather app to know about those changes in your neighborhood. Get those updated forecasts, the live radar, right at the palm of your hand. You can get it on your phone. The app is free to download. Let's go in depth. Fire season's been minimal so far. It's quite nice. We're following the Thompson Ridge fire burning in 3 central Utah counties. Fire crews say it's about 29% contained right now, about 7,300 acres. Yeah, that hasn't changed in about a week. They've gotten some moisture over that, definitely in the last few days. So far, there's been at least 3 injuries to firefighters. No buildings are threatened. However, it is threatening energy infrastructure, so some gas lines, power lines. This fire sparked at the beginning of the month due to a lightning strike. Been burning for about a week and a half now. Also following the range fire burning east of Price in the mountain range out there, estimated about 150 acres. Been really an air show for this one. It's tough to get people out there. Been mostly air resources. I saw some helicopters out there today, and that's how they were trying to contain this one. Fire crews have been busy here in Utah over the last 24, 48 hours with those lightning strikes. Just because not much has grown doesn't mean they are not responding. They are staying quite busy. Speaking of, with all these storms this week, we're finding out how this could impact the rest of our wildfire season. Ariel Harrison has been speaking with wildfire and weather experts today live in Salt Lake City with their take. What did they say about where we are now and where we might be headed, Ariel?
Well, as we've been reporting, we started off this wildfire season late. It's been slow, and that has largely, in part, I'm told today, due to the, historic winter we just came off, and then some regular summer storms, which have really helped saturate our soil, keeping our fires small and manageable. In terms of, hey, what's all of this moisture doing for our fire season? It's not eliminating the risk for fires altogether, but the two meteorologists I spoke with from separate agencies today tell me large fires are getting more and more unlikely as we continue to have this rainfall and moisture. Now, something I want to point out is the peak of our wildfire season is typically June and July. Those are our hottest months here in the summer typically. We are coming towards, out of that into the approaching the fall season. Wildfire season can extend, but right now they're saying it looks really like we are going to be continuing this trend of the slower season just because of, again, the sheer amount of water we've had coming out of our winter and also the moisture we've recently had, whether that's monsoonal or from the remnants we're seeing from Tropical Storm Hillary. Brian?
Ariel, just quickly, I know that a lot of our fire crews seem to be staying busy, not just here in Utah, but also out of state, right?
Yeah, and that's possible, I'm told, because, our resources are not in as demand as they've been in prior years when we've been very dry battling our own wildfires. And not to say we're not battling our own fires, because we do have lightning strikes and different starts in different parts of the state. Again, wildfire risk isn't completely gone, but our teams are able to manage them and then therefore send our resources to other states who are in need, because we aren't in as demand as we've been in years prior when we've been in extreme drought.
Ariel Harrison live for us in Salt Lake City, of course keeping an eye on what is happening when it comes to wildfires here in Utah. Can be assured basically at this point there will be something still to come because the season is still young. Ariel, thank you. Last night, a rush of wild weather brought flash flooding to parts of southern Utah. The cleanup efforts still underway in Cedar City tonight. Amanda Gilbert is live there. We're told she's outside the Cedar City Hospital. I know that the moisture and the rain was piling up out there and it was flooded out, at least in some pictures that I got sent my way last night. How's it looking now, Amanda?
Well, for the most part, it's actually been dry today out here until right about now. We are starting to get some rain and wind coming into Cedar City. You can tell by looking at my bangs. One thing I wanted to point out, though, you can see those sandbags. So yesterday evening in Cedar City, they had their hospital, their jail, and multiple homes flood. So today they've been cleaning out the hospital. They've been putting up sandbags because they're preparing for even more rain tonight. I spoke with the Iron County Emergency Management, and they said basically in the hospital they had patients' rooms flooding, they had the emergency room flood, they had some water in the cafeteria. So today they spent a lot of time kind of pumping that out. They did so at the jail as well, and things are starting to kind of get back to normal today. But again, they are bracing for more rain. It's just starting right now as my live hit started. So it's been pretty dry here so far today, but we'll see kind of what happens throughout the night tonight for 6 and 10. Back to you, Brian.
Amanda, just before you go, I noticed obviously the hospital got a little bit of rain-related damage and the jail had some concerns. What about the people living there? Have we heard of any home damage, any probably basements flooding, I would imagine? Anything significant that you've heard of?
Yeah, some homes flooded, some basements did. Iron County Emergency Management couldn't give me a number of just how many, but they did say it was only in Cedar City where homes flooded. They said a lot of it was more just flash flooding, so the streets are back to normal so far. So again, though, we'll see what happens tonight.
Amanda Gilbert in Cedar City, just to the west of where that flash flood warning is right now, in parts of SR 14. just on the east side of Cedar. Amanda, stay safe. Thank you. As we near the 1-year anniversary of devastating flooding in Moab, we've got some new video to show you from a rescue that night that involved 3 tourists from France. I obtained this video from the Bureau of Land Management. Enforcement Ranger Cody Marsh was almost done with his shift when the floodwaters began to rise.
Come out to me!
What looks like a river moving through downtown Moab. This is August 20th of last year. This video from Ranger Marsh's body camera shows him leaving his truck, wading through the fast-moving water, trying not to get swept away in the process, and trying to reach people stranded in their hotel room.
Come on! Go to my truck! Red and blues! Policia! Quickly, quickly! Face that way, walk across.
A tense situation. The language barrier also there. I mean, I talked to Ranger Marsh after this, and he said that was really challenging. Just tried to use some basic ways of communicating. They were able to get everyone out. He reached the 3 visitors at the Cocopelli Lodge, visiting from Paris, France. They were all nearly swept away by the water when they fell, as you saw, but they were luckily brought to the truck, and the owner of the motel found another place for them to stay that night. The motel did get a lot of damage. A lot of rooms were unusable. They were able to reopen with some of those rooms just a few months later. I've spoken to Ranger Marsh about this night, as I mentioned. He told me he was just doing what any other officer would do. As for the 3 visitors, their car was flooded that night. It was floating along there, but they were able to get it started the next day, and they continued on their Western States road trip like nothing happened at all. Spectacular. 2 News has you covered as our risk for flash floods continue. Download our 2 News mobile app for breaking news alerts on issues around the state, and to see our past stories on ways that you and your family can protect your home and property. A reminder, you can always find the 2 News live show on your phone, tablet, computer. Stream us anywhere on the go. 2 News mobile app, Stir and News on your television and YouTube. All of those things that we mentioned are free and are able to be downloaded at the Apple App Store or Google Play. We're talking about flash flooding. That was obviously very significant. We had a smaller version of said flash flood come through Moab yesterday. The Mill Creek area flashed. What's really the concern with SR-14, though? There's a pretty strong storm.
That storm is just not going anywhere. So it's there's a lot of water coming down, so we'll have to see what ends up happening. But that flash flood warning is in effect for SR-14 east of Cedar City until 7:45. And also a heads up to our folks in Ely, Nevada and Elko, Nevada, central Nevada area. You guys are going to see some monster storms, some monster rain showers. You are in a significant area of potential rain, and that does sneak in a little bit into Utah and especially into southwestern Utah. We've actually seen a little bit of an increase, a closer area of that heavy rain into our viewing area than we had yesterday. So we're going to be tracking this very closely over the next several days.
Yeah, a lot of colors on the radar map tonight when looking at the satellite and everything there. Keeping you busy. Thank you, Sterling. Thanks for watching 2 News Live. We're back on Monday. Hope you have an excellent weekend. Keep your eye on the sky. Download the 2 News weather app to know about what's going on if you've got plans. Keep it locked there. Just know what to do and know what's coming your way for the weekend. Have a good one. We'll see you on Monday.